Okay, this is game 5 of the match between MInionpawn and GraceG that I am commenting. Got some attacks. Tomb, interesting. Trashing is not super easy to do here, but maybe somewhat valuable. Notably, Pirate Ship and Rogue trash cards for your opponent. So if they actually hit, they give your opponent a point. And Transmute's pretty bad. So the question is, can you in any way avoid going for the Mountebank game? And I kind of doubt it. I think you just have to go buy double silver, going for the Mountebanks. Grace disagrees. We'll see if she's doing a delayed Mountebank or just isn't that worried about it. Maybe saying, well, you can't hit me that hard, and I'm going to get these extra VP from Tomb, and I'm just going to load up on treasures. I would consider MInionpawn even going double Mountebank, seeing that the Seer is going to be tough. You've got all these bad cards in your deck from the Mountebank. The Seer is often just going to be drawing one card, and you'll be looking at 3 zero-cost cards, coppers, and curses. So Grace did get the Mountebank on turn 6. I don't really like the delayed Mountebank, but we'll see if that pays off. MInionpawn getting the silver and has 5 and can get another Seer. Again, this is going to be tough with Seers. I realize it's the only card that does some semblance of drawing here, so maybe that's the best thing to do. I would strongly consider some alternate approach. One nice thing the Seer can kind of do is if you can kind of use it to balance your terminals, so you can play Butcher on one turn, Mountebank on the other, but I don't think you have enough Seers and enough control over your deck to actually make that work that often. That's heavily shuffle dependent there. So we're seeing MInionpawn hitting 7, Grace hitting 5. I think we're going to be having a lot of these back and forth 5s and 7 kinds of hands. Luckily, they are able to block there, which is quite nice. And MInionpawn gets the silvers. I like the silvers over the Black Cat. Your deck is going to be so thick with actions, and you're really going to be one of buying provinces, and the curses might be gone by the time your opponent actually buys provinces. So just keeping adding silvers, and again, that I would have definitely bought another Seer with all the silvers I'm adding to the deck. And Grace seems to have drawn most of the good treasures in one hand, which is unfortunate, but and is able to get a block here. And this game may come down to who's blocking better with their curses. Again, as MInionpawn, I would have gotten a Seer over that gold. We'll see if they get a Seer here. If they just get another gold, they need to get a Seer. And unfortunately, they bottom deck 2 Seers. That's pretty unlucky, because both those are going to miss the shuffle. So now they can, doesn't actually matter which they do for now. Now they can decide, yeah. So they're going to have a Seer and a copper. And is able to get a province, yep, and have a Seer for next turn, which is nice. Butchering into silver makes sense. I think as this game goes on, the Seers are going to get a lot worse because they're going to have lots of coppers and curses and provinces and golds, and the Seer does nothing with those cards other than looking at them and reordering a little bit. Having the Butchers is nice. It seems tough to get to play both of them every shuffle, just with all the Mountebanks and stuff. But we'll see. MInionpawn should probably just trash this curse here. I would consider trashing the curse into a copper and buying a silver. I think it's nice here to have those coffers on the mat to save. They decided to get the Black Cat. You can't actually stack the Black Cats on top with Seer because they get drawn. You might think that's an advantage that they get drawn. It draws you another card, but you can't actually play it because you risk drawing your Butchers or your Mountebanks dead. There, Grace played it, and I thought that was quite risky. As MInionpawn, I would consider trashing a copper into copper and buying a duchy. They trashed a silver into duchy. and bought a silver. I think, logically speaking, the math works out. They did the same thing as I said. And MInionpawn feels a little bit behind here, so I think they do need to province. It doesn't look like... yeah, Grace can put a copper on top, and then I would butcher Seer into Duchy and buy an estate, knowing that you have a butcher next turn, and you can do a similar kind of thing. I don't think there's any way this hand is provincing. The alternative is to draw the Mountebank. That seems questionable. I really want to play that butcher next turn. They could have drawn the Mountebank and played it for the attack. It also gives them a little bit of information. If your opponent doesn't have a curse in hand, maybe that means they have good cards. But there's also so much treasure that you don't know whether they don't have a curse because they have 4 coppers or because they have 2 golds. And was able to get a Duchy and a Tunnel of that line. So that line was actually nice for Grace. They put themselves up by enough that MInionpawn couldn't win, and then they were able to win themselves in the next turn. So I maybe analyzed that a little bit wrong, because I think Grace ended up taking the right line there. At least it worked out. And so we'll see you in game 6.